every time I turn this thing on, it forgets who it is and where it's supposed to be. So every time I fire this thing up, and I learned that this morning, Mac, with this particular amp. Whenever I turn it on, when it goes to sleep with itself, it thinks it's down on 1825, and I have to coax it back to 75 and then retune it. So anyway, but it's working. And if something happens tonight, the old Kenwood 922 is ready to go. Let's see, 77 here right now, 77 degrees. And yeah, I was curious, Mac, the question that Ron posed a little bit ago, which flavor processor are you processing with tonight? Let's see. With that, Eddie, here it comes. Good to hear you. Good to hear you this evening. KA4 AMI. That's who you are. This is W4KR.
Okay. Well, thank you, Stan. This is KA4 AMI. Eddie and Williamson, and everybody's got good signals. The band fell out from under you, Stan, a little bit there toward the end, but it's coming back up. You were way up there before it decided to swing. And Ron, I'm listening on this S673, and it thing's in decibels, the carrier level, and you got it all the way over pegged. So I just happened to notice yours. I'm sure Mac's strong, and I didn't get a chance to see what Sam was doing. But I could come across the basement. I had my hands full of a little airplane carburetor, trying to get it to work, and getting some of my models back in order to fly a little bit this fall. And a couple of carburetors were stuck. They've been sitting so long, so I'm rebuilding those. Anyway, that's about all that's going on here. I hope Miss Janice is feeling a little better, or it's peaked out, or whatever, and she gets hopefully she can keep Dr. Ron straight real soon. And let's see, you know what I heard between before I called, I thought I heard KN4 Mike Echo, but he's a little light over there, so I'll pass it back to Sam, because I think that's where it goes. And Sam, you can break for him, and if you're listening, Dr. John, go ahead and then pass it to Sam. KN4 Mike Echo, KF4 TXQ, whoever grabs it. This is KA4 AMI. Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay, Eddie Brown, KA4 AMI. Didn't hear Dr. John, so anyway, we'll keep listening out for him in between turnovers. You know how that is. We'll try to work him in there again. But anyway, Eddie Brown, you sounding good, but the band's kind of on a dip right now, propagation-wise. And that's because the sun's still pretty high in the sky. It's not quite down over the hill, so that's the way it goes. But anyway, good to hear everybody. It's good to be here, and we're going to do the best we can, and hopefully everything will be copacetic. But I'm looking forward to getting that DX60 over here on. Of course, I'm going to miss having the digital readout on the frequency generation. I guess I'm probably going to put a Collins PTO on it, and that way it'll be pretty stable. I can kind of zero B with it pretty good. I can change frequencies if I need to. So anyway, we'll see how that works out. But those ZX60s are great little old rigs. And so I'm hoping that by having an all boat anchor AM station here, things are going to be simpler. and I'm not going to have to worry so much about RF getting into my 7300. Because I'll tell you what, low hoss can kick up a fuss when he wants to. So anyway, let's see. I tell you what, let me pass it one more time to Dr. John, and if he doesn't pick it up, I guess it'll go to you there, Mac. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who gets it next. I think I passed it to you last time. So, Dr. John, KM4 Mike Echo, if you can hear me, pick it up and go ahead and make one. If not, W4AX, you pick it up. This is KF4TXQ David. Over. Hey, John. Well, I didn't hear Mac. I heard John come in there. So, John, why don't you pick it up? Make one. Good to hear you. K4VZS plus cooler. KF4TXQ in the group.
Yeah, I didn't hear Dr. John, and but I'm here. Go ahead, John. Good evening, W4AX.
I'm out in the shop tonight. I haven't been out here in a long time. I have trouble getting everything to work. I bought a new Mousetrap tonight. Try it out now. Started trimming my head and cut my coal out for the inside. So I'm out here. Anyway, I'm over to drive over there and anything. Let me know. KF4TXQ, K4VZS. Okay, John. Well, you sounding good. I tell you what, I hear some pushing sounds on the band. It's just propagation, maybe some kind of solar flare or something. I don't know, but it's not your usual whopping signal. So, but I think it's just conditions. So we'll just have to rock along. Matt, can you hear me all right? W4AX. This is KF4TXQ.
Yeah, I sure can, Sam. You're blasted in here. Everybody's great. I didn't copy John that time. He was Q1 at best. I caught a few words. So KF4TXQ, W4AX. And Dr. Ron, I'm sorry your wife's got the COVID, but I understand for most people now that's pretty much like a cold. And I did not know that about the Dentron offset wiring. I'm trying to think in my years of experience if I've seen that in any rig before, and I don't think so. And Ron, what I do is I use a filament transformer as a bucking transformer on the 117 volt line of the transformer. So you probably know that, just something to consider. Stan, I have a couple of for sale items tonight, and we'll get to that. And if I'm all frequency, it's just kind of got to be what it is, because I'm rock bound, and this is the rock I have, as close as it can be. And Stan, I want to thank you. I was thinking about going to the doctor to figure out what was wrong with me, and now I know all it is my memory battery died. So maybe I can get a new one and get fixed up. Eddie, good evening to you, and why don't you plan, if you can, to put your gates on next week, and I'll put mine on, and we can have a gates to gates on the same net. I'm running the gates tonight, and to answer your question, I'm running the Orban Optimod. I've tried 3 different pre-processing systems. The Orban Optimod is used currently in most AM and FM stations. And there's a bunch of different presets. This is called the Greg Obanowski, which was one of the most famous audio engineers in the world, preset for talk radio. So that's what I'm running tonight, and kind of is what it is. All right, here it comes, Ron. WB4GWA, W4AX.
Okay, very good. W4AX, WB4GWA. Well, you're blasting in here, that's for sure. And yeah, that'd be good to have both gates on and just have a battle of the gates there. Yeah, I was real surprised to see that in this DTR 2000. I don't know whether they did it on the MLA series or not, but they sure did on this thing. What they do is they've got a relay in there that they switch the windings through a relay to get lesser voltage on CW, and so but it is offset, and it's really strange to fool with if you're not used to it. But anyway, I got it all straightened out. And John, you're sounding good in here, and the 5NO180 works. So thanks a bunch, my friend. Those things are unobtainium, and the thing does work. So I'm going to be careful with it, as careful as I can possibly be. Go ahead, Stan, W4KR, WB4GWA.
Okay, Ron. Yeah, I dragged my feet again. Okay, this is W4KR. John, good evening to you. If you're able to copy me down there. It's not. We're struggling just a little bit with you yet, John. But that's because of the time. It's just 6:25, so we're a little early. Nope, it's a little later than that. It's 6:29. I'm going to go on here for just a second and turn it over to our prenet control here in a minute or so. Mac, it sounds better. It sounds better. If you could push the up around 1,800 to 2,000, you could push that up just a little bit. You get the simulants up a little bit, and it would be good. It would be very good at that point. But you're close. You're real close. Does sound good. Let's see. What else do I know? I don't know too much. It was a quiet day around here. John and I didn't do much of anything. We just kind of goofed off all day. So in fact, we even took an afternoon nap. She told me I better take a nap so I could to use her words, so I could keep all these ne'er-do-wells in line tonight come 7 o'clock. I suppose, I don't know, Ron, we got to start thinking about when we'll switch back time-wise. It's too early yet, obviously, but latter part of October, 1st November, somewhere in there maybe. We'll see. We shall see. With that, it's 6:31, and I'm going to turn it over to our prenet control. We got a new guy trying to do prenet control tonight. This is his maiden voyage, so we'll vote on him when it's all over. K4BKC, W4KR.
W4KR, K4BKC. Well, good evening, Stan, and good evening to everyone that's assembled here. Yeah, y'all be kind to me, guys. I need to try my hand at this every now and then to make sure that I remember how. So this is K4BKC with the prenet for the SAMRC Tuesday evening swap and fellowship net. And I've got a pretty good list of folks that have already checked in. KF4TXQ, W4AX, W4KR, WB4GWA, KA4AMI, and K4VZS. And if there are other stations wishing to get out on the prenet, come now with your calls. This is K4BKC. Well, I got W4CDJ and there's someone that doubled with him. Go ahead.
W4OB.
Okay, I'm getting them one at a time. I'm at K5HFG, and there's another person that checked in there.
KN4 Mike Echo.
Whiskey 4 Oscar Bravo.
Okay, I got KN4 Mike Echo and Whiskey 4 Oscar Bravo. Very good. Anyone else wishing to get in on the pre-net for the SAMRC Tuesday evening swap and fellowship net, go ahead with your call.
Kilo 3 Foxtrot Zulu Delta. Kilo 3 Foxtrot Zulu Delta.
Kilo Whiskey 4 Tango Victor.
Okay, I got Kilo 3 Foxtrot Zulu Delta and KW4 TV. Well, let's go with these for now, and I'll come back and take another pair from there. We were about halfway through the upper list, and I think Dr. Ryan was next on the list. So WB4GWA, go ahead with your comments for the pre-net. This is K4BKC. WB4GWA, K4BKC.
Yeah, okay, Bob. K4BKC from WB4GWA. Well, I hope you're doing well tonight, and appreciate you pinch hitting and keeping us all straight tonight. I just flipped over into my dummy load and back so that I could hopefully get a little closer on frequency. I have a bad habit of hitting this dial if I'm not careful. But you're sounding good in here, Bob, and I hope all is well with you, and it is here. And continue to work on my project here, and it seems like it's coming along. It's been a labor of love. The biggest thing I've got to do now is I've got to build a cabinet, and that's going to be fun because that's a lot of sheet metal work. But I'll have to tear into that and build a cabinet for it. But hopefully it'll come along, that's for sure. I've got a query, though. If any of you are familiar with the Dentron lights, the little pilot lights that are on the front of it, they are plastic lights, and they stick out about, almost a half an inch. And they screw in. They're screw-in plastic kind of lights. And I'd like to know where you can get them. Mine all work, but I do foresee the day when those things may go out on me, and so I would be interested in knowing a source for those things. They're panel lights, and they screw in, and the bulb is actually encased in the plastic, if you understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, think it over, and if anybody's got a suggestion where those things might be found, I would appreciate it. Back to you, Bob. K4BKC from WB4GWA in Concord.
Okay, Dr. Ron. Well, I don't have a clue, but I'm sure someone does. I was listening to your progress on the Dentron, and it sounds like you're whipping those problems one at a time, and the pictures I've seen look great. Well, next on the list is KA4AMI, Eddie Brown. Go ahead. This is K4BKC.
Rolling with, this is KA4AMI. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Signals are good. I copy John.
KA4 AMI, K4 BKC. Well, Eddie, I missed most of that. I tell you, the band is a little up and down tonight. Sorry, but I could tell you turned it back to me. Good to hear you in there tonight. I heard you better when you checked in the first time on the first part of the round table. But sure good to hear you. K4 VZS, John in Pensacola. This is K4 BKC. John, if you can copy me, go ahead.
K4 BKC, K4 VZS. I'm amazed I'm able to copy most everybody tonight. I couldn't hear it, and that's unusual. But I'm copying just about everybody. I'm out here on the shop, and I'm at Johnson 500, Bush 98 Old Foot. And as I say, it's been a while since I've been out here, so needless to say, not much is working out here. So anyway, I cut my antenna with fuse trimmers inside the house antenna. So it's I don't know. Sometimes I almost worse stuff enemy. But it's good to hear everybody. I heard Don up there. He's coming in pretty good. So anyway, I'm sure the band will get better after that. K4 BKC, K4 VZS.
K4 VZS, K4 BKC. Fine business, John. Well, you're sounding good on the Johnson 500, and I heard that you cut your antenna with the hedge clippers. Now, that's no good. And whatever you're on tonight's working though, and the band is up and down, but I copied most of that. Good to have you in there. W4 CDJ Dan. This is K4 BKC. Go ahead, Dan.
K4 BKC in the SAMRC AM Net. This is W4 CDJ. Dan in Harrisburg, Indiana. Flying a different transmitter here this morning. It's one board you built for me. So this is the first time it's been worked on a 3885 AM phone in this QTH. So I hope it sounds okay. Just want to get in and say hello to everyone. Hopefully conditions will improve a little bit as the evening passes through the gray line and we get some darkness in the skies. You're sounding good up here, Bob. K4 BKC, W4 CDJ.
W4 CDJ, K4 BKC. Well, you're very strong here tonight, Dan. I wonder what the tube complement is on that rig. Over.
Yeah, I had to get back. I just stepped away. It's a pair of 833As modulating the 4-1000. Gates iron in the bottom. SW200 audio processor. And we're driving it with ICOM 746 Pro. That's about it here. Same old double bazooka antenna, same backyard. That's about it, Bob. K4 BKC, W4 CDJ.
W4 CDJ. Well, it really does sound good. Very strong. Very strong tonight, Dan. Well, let me take another standby and see if there's anyone else that would like to get in on the pre-net for the SAMRC Tuesday evening swapping fellowship net. Come now with your calls, please.
KK4GZQ.
Well, we got KK for AZ2, Kevin. Good evening to you. Hadn't heard you on this group in a long time. Appreciate you being here. Any others that would like to join the pre-net? Well, I guess that's all for now. K5HFG Don over in Yotney, Mississippi. This is K4 BKC.
Okay, Bob, good evening, and thanks for picking me up. This is K5HFG. Now, hold on a minute. There we go. I'm surprised. I'm seeing some pretty good signals for conditions. I think it's because there's no noise at this point. Here's what I can hear. Sound really good. You're up to 20 over. You had fallen down to almost +9 there for a minute or so, and it came right back up. The band is up and down, as you say. So I say good evening to everybody that's checked in so far, and I hope you all can hear me. K4BKC, K5HFG.
K5HFG, K4BKC. Fine business, Don. Don, you sound very good tonight. Very strong from Mississippi. I'm glad to have you in there. KN4 Mike Echo, Killen, Alabama. K4BKC.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Great signal down here as always, and I'm copying everyone very nicely. Dan from Indiana has a terrific signal. Particularly good to hear Kevin, KK4GZQ. It's been a long time. And I used to get in the morning sessions years ago, back when my schedule was better for it. And we don't catch Kevin on in the evenings too much. It's really good to hear you. Oh, a little feedback there, sorry. And Dr. Ron, it's good to hear that the Dentron is coming around. Sorry, the whole thing was not totally intact, but that's the way it came. So just delighted that you're resurrecting it. Not much else here. Beautiful day. Wife and I took a spin in the convertible and went out in the country looking at some property. Just had a good time. Don't know that we're going to do anything about the property, but we had a good time looking. K4BKC in the crew. KN4 Mike Echo.
KN4 Mike Echo. K4BKC. Yeah, it was a good day for riding today. It's cooling off, thankfully. And I think the band's going to improve. It's just it's still a little early in the evening. W4OB, Ray in Sandy Spring. This is K4BKC.
K4BKC, this is W4OB. Well, a very good evening to you, Bob. You've got a beautiful signal, as always, from Columbia. So the voice of Tennessee, for sure. And Dr. John, you're coming in great from Killen, 20 over on my Mousetrap. And I was copying you, Don. Hopefully you can hear me over on Kick Ridge in Mississippi. HFG. Good to hear you, Don. And it's actually good to be on the net tonight, Bob, because when I went out into the woods this afternoon, I realized that one of the trees had come down with, I guess, all the rain that we had a couple of weeks ago, and it cut off half of my 75-meter dipole. So I was out there with about 120 feet of extension cord and did some surgery and soldered the ends back together that were severed. So now I think I'm on a full 75-meter dipole, but we'll have to see, depending on the copy that everyone's getting. But on the Apache, so let me send it back to you, Bob, and thanks so much for picking me up, and thanks for being such a great pre-net control this evening. K4BKC, this is W4OB.
W4OB, K4BKC. Well, Ray, it's working. Whatever you did, it's you're strong into Columbia tonight. It's a very good deal. And thank you for being there. K3 Foxtrot Zulu Delta. Larry, go ahead. And I noticed a little bit of hum on your signal that I don't usually hear, but you may already know that. K3 Foxtrot Zulu Delta, K4 BKC.
K4 BKC, this is K3 Foxtrot Zulu Delta. I didn't know about a hum. Using the same DX60, and hopefully it's still doing what it should do. And using the same inverted V fed with parallel wire feed using a tuner. So everything's pretty much the same as it's been. So how is the signal strength, and what do you think about a hum now?
Well, the hum is still there, Larry. The signal strength is good, and I'm copying you okay, but there's a distinct hum. Let's see. Stan, are you copying Larry? W4KR or K4BKC?
Yes, I am, Bob, and I agree with you. There's a lot of hum on the signal. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I won't belabor the point. I just we're proud to have you one way or the other, and I just wanted to let you know I knew you'd want to know about it. But it's sure good to hear you tonight. Thank you for being there, Larry. KW4 TV manual. This is K4 BKC.
Good evening, Bob. K4 BKC, KW4 TV. We've had a beautiful day here in Florida, and just get out enjoying the weather. Cut about 2 acres of grass this morning, and all was well. Got some stuff knocked off at honeydew list, so maybe I can start working on a few ham projects around the shack here. So, Bob, that's about what I've got going on. I'm hearing most everybody. The net is up and down, but thank you for checking me in, and always a pleasure to get in here and hear everybody, my friend. K4BKC, KW4 TV, from the tallest mountain in Florida. Back to you, Bob.
Okay, Manuel. Well, you're sounding great, and I'm glad you got all that grass mowed. And that's, I guess your grass grows for a month longer than mine does, but ours is beginning to slow down. But we'll have to continue to cut for another month or so. KK4GZQ. Kevin, my goodness, good to hear you from Nonsuch, Kentucky. K4BKC.
Okay, well, good. K4BKC with the SAMRC pre-net. KK4GZQ. Good evening, all. Good to be back on here with all of you. Bob, you got a huge signal up here, you and Stan. Hi, Stan. Hello to Dr. John. Dr. John, appreciate the honorable mention. Still getting in on the mornings with the guys here. I'm running the BC 610 here tonight, the old Mousetrap. 614 speed amp D104 and an old R392 receiver. Running an 80-meter loop here at about 55 feet horizontal. And what good signals, John. DZS, John, HFG, John, good signal from you. Dr. John was big. Eddie, I heard AMI. Dan, W4CDJ up in Indiana. Good evening, Dan. Great signal down here tonight. The band seems to be getting better and better all the time. I'm anxious to get back in here and get on some round tables and some nets again. W4OB, Ray, good evening to you. Big signal. K3FCD, Larry, good copy. And Stan, good, huge copy on you out of South Carolina. Along with me, KO4TV, checking in with you, Bob. So that's all I got. I won't tie it up. Glad to see this fall weather. It's slow getting here, but it's coming. Here it comes back to you, Bob. Beautiful cycle. K4BKC with pre-net KK4GZQ.
KK4GZQ. K4BKC. Well, the Mousetrap sounds great as always. I mean, it's just pounding into Columbia, Tennessee. And it's a real pleasure having you on tonight on the Tuesday evening net. I hope you can make it happen. We'd love to have you. Well, let me take another pause and see if there's anyone else that would like to get in on the pre-net for this Tuesday evening Southeastern AM Radio Club Swap and Fellowship Net. Come now with your call.
Oh, Bob. W4GUZ.
KA3IWS.
Well, out of that I got W4GUZ and Alpha Delta 4 Quebec. And I think there was another one in there. Who did I miss in that bunch?
KA3IWS.
Could I ask for a relay on that station? Over.
KA3IWS, Bob.
KA3IWS, is that correct?
Do it now.
Okay, thank you, Stan, for that. Let's go back to Guz, the W4GZ. Brandon, this is K4BKC. Go ahead.
Well, hello, Bob, and everyone else on the net just getting in from work, and I've got a lot of noise, but I think I know what it is. The wife is, we've been raising monarch butterflies, and I think we're up to number 27. She's got some LED lights on the aquariums, and I think that's where the noise is coming from. Anyway, on the 20V2, and I haven't been behind this microphone in a long time. Been at work a lot, but hadn't had any play time behind the mic. So, good evening, and looking forward to the net. But I've got to find this noise. I'm pretty sure I know where it's at. But Bob, you're coming over it, no problem at all. It's getting close to net time, so I'll turn it back to you. Hope everything's well in Columbia. K4BKC in the pre-net, W4GUZ. And hello, Kevin.
W4GUZ, K4BKC. Well, thank you, Brandon. You're sounding outstanding. Alpha Delta 4 Quebec. Dave, go ahead. This is K4BKC. way back. Well, we've been on here quite a while. Been on my 94 last, I guess. I thought we got it. Noises. Not too bad tonight, but I've had several stations that I'm not hearing. Most everybody I'm 100% copied. W4OB I did not hear. Oh, I don't know. I used to hear him. What's not your name tonight? But I had a good weekend, Bob. I went down and visited New Orleans. I drove over to Pensacola and got to meet with a bunch of the guys that are on the Mullinet. Anyway, back to you, Bob, and join this K4 BKC and the group AB4Q. 84Q, K4 BKC. Well, I know you had a great time in New Orleans and Pensacola. That's fantastic. I'm glad you got to make that trip. Have one more, and then we'll turn it over to Stan. KA3IWS. This is K4 BKC. Go ahead.
K4 BKC and the Freenet. This is KA3IWS. Well, good evening, Bob, and some of I was on there. Thanks for the relay. You were really loud. This is Bob in Lexington, South Carolina. On my T150 and a full wave loop antenna. So we'll just be kind of standing by, and we'll listen on down through the net. Appreciate y'all picking me up. K4BKC, KA3IWS.
KA3IWS. Thank you for being there. You came way up that time. I appreciate you being there very much. Stan, it's over to you. Yeah. Are there any fills that you need on the list? W4KR, K4BKC.
Okay, Bob. K4BKC, W4KR. Thank you, Bob. Thanks for doing the pre-nut tonight. Nope, don't need any fills. We're all set. Copied everybody. Conditions are... conditions aren't great, but the noise level's not very high. The band's a little bit on the long side. Manual was really rocking and rolling in here, as was John up in Indiana. Congrats, John. Want to talk to you some more about, or Don, want to talk to you some more about that afterward. Maybe you're on the phone. We'll see. Anyway, this is W4KR. My name is Stan. I'm located in the northwest corner of South Carolina, and this is the Southeastern AM Radio Club weekly net that meets here on 3885 at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Sometime later in the fall, we'll switch back to 6 o'clock, which is our normal winter time, but not quite yet. As I said before, we operate every Tuesday night here, beginning at 7 o'clock. Pre-net begins at 6:30. With our pre-net operator, normally it's Alan, and for OZI, but Alan was called away this evening. He had another commitment that he had to deal with regarding one of the local Atlanta area radio clubs, Nafarfel, and tonight Bob was kind enough to step in for Alan, and did a great job. Purpose of this net is to provide a forum for buying and selling and trading of vintage AM gear and components, and we do quite a bit of that. As we gather to foster fellowship between members and visitors, we urge you to visit our website at w4ami.org. Dr. Ron Johnson, WB4GWA, has done and is doing just an outstanding job on that on our website. It's really growing into something special, and for those of you who aren't familiar with the net or with some of the people or the organization, we encourage you to take a look at the take a good look at the website. There are a lot of pieces to it. Again, that's w4ami.org. Going to start this evening with the transmissions from our club officers. I'm going to begin with our president, Bob, K4BKC. We finish the officers, then we'll take a standby, and as the net proceeds on, we'll take periodic standbys for latecomers. To you, Bob, and good evening. K4BKC. This is W4AMI. Go ahead.
Well, W4AMI, K4BKC. Well, good evening, Stan. Good evening to everyone on the net. Well, I first would like to thank everyone for taking the time to stop in and check in with us this afternoon. It means a lot to us to have this group gather on Tuesday evening, and we certainly wouldn't have a net without you. I'd like to ask you to continue to keep in your thoughts and prayers our friend Ben, W4CT, and as he goes through his treatment. And I'd like to hear a report on the Hamfest down in Florida that happened recently. If there's anybody that can give us a report on that, that'd be great. I'm the 20V2 tonight and listening on the R390, and everybody is just sounding great. It's good evening for AM. Back to you, Stan. Thank you for doing the net. I feel like I've had plenty of mic time tonight. Appreciate you picking me up. W4AMI, K4BKC.
Okay, Bob, and let me say I did a quick poll here during your transmission, and you have been reappointed alternate net control, so and pre-net. So welcome back if you ever went anywhere. Don't think you did. Forgot to mention one thing before I turn it over to our treasurer. The other thing I wanted to mention, and especially to our newer friends, Southeastern AM Radio Club is an organization made up of 290 members, and we've been around here since about 1989. So it's been running for a week or two anyway, and we're proud that it continues to grow. And every week the list gets a little longer. We've got 17 folks in already tonight, and that's a big number for summertime. Okay, next on the list is our treasurer, KA4AMI, Eddie Brown. How are you doing tonight? Go ahead.
Okay, well, we started out pretty good, and the screen resistor go bad on the Ranger over there. It happened to me a couple of months ago. It's got the same symptoms, so that's the reason Bob couldn't hear me, because it wasn't going through the amp, and slowly he wasn't putting any power out. I'm surprised he heard me at all. Anyway, we switched over now to the 60, and it seems to be performing all rubber. Anyway, but it's good to hear everybody, and let's see. During the pre-net, Mac mentioned getting the gates on. I'm still working on the audio on that. I've got some noise in it, so let me get that cleared up, and we'll have dueling gates one night. But I'm pretty sure Mac will win. I run mine on low power, and it just don't have the antenna capabilities to run anything much over 250 watts. So anyway, but I'll be happy to do it and enjoy doing it. I just haven't got it cleared up yet. But anyway, let's see. I talked to Perry yesterday at length, and he and his family, they're still dealing with the loss of Will, so I want to keep them in their thoughts and prayers, and it's just going to take a while. And he said he would be back, and he was glad that we were thinking about him. and I think it made him feel good. So, anyway, Stan, that's about it from here. Other than tell everybody to check that website and keep an eye on it, because there's a lot of changes and a lot of good things on there. So that's w4ami.org. And back to you, Stan. Good job. Thank you, Bob, for getting in there. Oh, it's good to hear Kevin and Brandon tonight. They're coming in real good from up north of us here. So that's it for here. 7-3s for now from Williamson, Georgia. W4ami. This is Kelly for AMers.
Okay, Eddie, thank you, and Eddie, thank you for sharing the comments about Perry. We certainly are thinking about he and the family over there, and glad to know that they're coming around a little bit. Shall see. Hope to see him back on here pretty quick. Next up, Eddie. Yeah. By the way, Eddie copied you earlier. Copied you fine. It was you were chugging along okay. And the DX60 sounds good tonight. Next up is our Vice President over in way west in Alabama. KF4TXQ. Sam, how you doing tonight? W4AMI. Over.
Doing fine, Stan. Good to hear you. Let me cut this thing down. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, this is KF4TXQ, Dadeville, Alabama. We're in Central East Alabama. And about 50 miles north of Montgomery, if you want to place us in your mind on the map. So there you go. And boy, the propagation's been peekaboo sort of tonight. It just rises and falls and does as it pleases. But anyway, you know, what else is new? But I'm glad to see the hint of fall coming back into the temperatures and the way the weather's doing now. So I'm happy about that. Okay, well we're rocking along here, doing pretty well. I got my A13 zone, and I'm excited with the ICOM 7300, but I'm going to be excited with a DX60 like Eddie Brown before long, and I ought to get it in a week or so. I've got to do some modifications to it, but you know what else is new? You gotta get it like you want it and do it like it needs to be. So anyway, thanks a lot for calling the net, and Bob, you did a great job with the pre-net as always, and you sounded great on the 20V. And back to you, Stan. You're sounding good tonight, and as the evening goes on, your signal is getting better. So appreciate it. W4AMI and Joan in Valhalla. This is KF4TXQ.
Okay, Sam. This is W4AMI in the Southeastern AM Radio Club Tuesday night meeting. Sam, the producer, is in the shack down here tonight giving directions, and she smiled and said, say hello to Sam. So hello, Sam. You can yell across the room and say it yourself, darling. Okay. Next up is our Sam. You were 20 over 9, so yep. Band's coming around pretty well here. Next up is our trustee and webmaster supreme, WB4GWA. Ron, good evening, sir. How are you? W4AMI. Go ahead.
Good there, man. W4AMI, WB4GWA. I'm doing very well, Stan, and good evening, Joan. Good to hear you're looking over his shoulder there, keeping everything in line. Everybody sounds good tonight. I'm like Sam, it's up and down and peekaboo and all that kind of stuff, but it sounds good. Kevin, it sure is good to hear you from Nonesuch, Kentucky. I would be curious, and Sam, you might correct me on this, and Kevin, you certainly can, but the Mousetrap, I think, is a famous transmitter. I think once upon a time Sam may have owned it, and then I think once upon a time Wayne Banks owned it, and then Charlie owned it, and I guess you got it now if it's the same one. So that one has been around. It's just the same one I'm thinking about. But anyway, it sounds good in here in the Concord, Georgia, for sure. And Brandon, you really sound good. Those monarch butterflies out there are going to be beautiful, and you've always got a great signal here in our area. Very good quality on everything. And good evening to WH3IWS, I think it is, over in Lexington. The T150 did a great job a while ago when you came in here. I heard you really loud and strong, so very good signal. Good signal from everybody tonight that I'm hearing, as long as the band cooperates. And Stan, appreciate all you're doing tonight to call the net. So back over to you, W4AMI from WB4GWA in Concord.
Okay, Ron, thank you. Hey, good signal. You two are hitting the 20 over 9 mark over here. Okay, we've come through our officers that tell us pretty much what's going on as far as the club is concerned. So I'm going to, at this point, take our first standby of the evening. Anyone has anything to buy, sell, or swap, or would want to join the net, come on in right now. This is W4AMI. Over.
W4OLJ.
W4MA.
Good to run into you. Good to meet you here in the air. And hopefully we'll be able to get up here more often these days.
Okay, I recognize some, and I'm in the next one. W4OLJ. Virgil, good evening to you. W4MA. Bill, good evening to you, sir. And W9TAB, good evening. I believe I missed somebody. Who was that? Go ahead.
And we've only got one, we've got 1.5 radio operating positions. I've got a 2-meter upstairs by the computer. But the main station.
Okay, W4WFL, got it. Anybody else?
W4II.
We're slowly working on getting all the equipment back up and running.
Okay, Greg, WA4II, good evening to you. Anyone else?
For 160 meters, that was a really nice antenna.
No, okay, we'll take another standby in about 15 minutes or so. And we'll move on down the list. Next up is down Pensacola way, K4VZS. John, how are you tonight? Go ahead.
160 meter antenna.
K4VZS.
Pretty good, Stan.
I'll tell you what, it takes about 2-3 minutes. It warms that wire up enough to melt all the ice off of it, so you don't have to worry about
Everything will work here again.
So there's a little tidbit of information.
I cut my
If you get it
inside leg with
plug it in.
head trimmers yesterday.
Anyway, Dave.
I guess that's more at the moment than the coax footing time. But
URL.
Johnson Grandmother, listening on HRO50. And enjoying it. It's really good tonight. I'm really tickled. I don't know if I just jumped frequency or not. No, I guess I'm all right. But anyway, enjoying the net. Appreciate you taking it. W4AMI, K4VZS.
Yeah, okay, John. No, it did not. You did not jump a cycle. You're right. You didn't go anywhere. But geez, you're just about 20 over 9 up here as well. So the band indeed is coming around. Good signal coming out of the Johnson 500 tonight. Next up is W4AX. Mac, how are you tonight? Over.
All right, thanks so much, Stan. W4AX, W4AMI, W4AX, and Stan, I pushed up the brilliance a little bit. I'm not sure I got the right setting. There's more than 100 settings on this speech processor, and the manual's 166 pages, but if I didn't get the right one, I'll try it again. Bob, thanks so much for running the pre-net, and thanks for the phone call. And Eddie, I run a Variac on my gate so that I can maintain legal amateur limits, so I'm running 375 watts right now. And Ron, I sent you an email with the lights for your Dentrons so that you can order those. And Larry, I think you have an open ground on your microphone, so you might be able to re-secure your microphone connection or re-solder your microphone connection. All right. For sale tonight, I have a CBS Laboratories Automax and Volumax combination. These are the combination that were used in the 60s and 70s on all AM radio stations. So if you want that sound, I have that set up for you, and I'll sell them for exactly what I've got in them, $850. And I can bring them to the Stone Mountain Ham Fest. I can mail them. You can come get them. I'll meet you halfway. Or I'll bring them to the Crestview Ham Fest in 3 weeks, which I hope to see some of my Florida friends there. Tonight I'm on the Gates BC1T, running wiggle limit and listing on a 75A4 and using an Orban Optimod, which is the current speech processing system used in most AM and FM stations today. Thanks so much, Stan, and thanks for running the net. W4AMI, W4AX.
Okay, Mac. Thank you for coming aboard tonight. Mac has a CBS Labs Volumax and Audiomax for sale that he will part company with, and that was good stuff. Good stuff in the 70s, good stuff today still. Next up is Dan, W4CDJ up in Indiana, and Dan, let's hear some more of that new rig. What I heard sounded pretty doggone good. W4CDJ, this W4AMI.
W4AMI in the net. W4CDJ. Well, good evening, Stan. Hearing most everybody. So far, conditions continue to hold here. Now, like I said earlier, this is one of Borges' creations here. And this is the first time it's been on the air on this frequency. I think he was here last Monday, a week ago. Set the thing up. I used it a couple times on the 40 meters. But other than that, tonight, I hope it sounds okay. Other than that, wells here are on its way shortly. Looking forward to spending a little more time in the shack this fall and winter. Finished a lot of projects here around the house this summer. Sin and I installed new cedar deck boards on the dock out over the pond. It's about, I think it's 12 foot wide and 30 feet long, so had to tear the boards up first. I think that was harder than putting the new ones down, but other than that, it's all good here in Indiana. Thanks for picking me up, Stan. Do appreciate it. W4AMI in the net. W4CDJ, Dan in Southeastern Indiana. Had to get the things coming in. Have a good evening.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Welcome. Glad to hear you, and good luck with that. Good luck with that new transmitting box. Sounds good. Sounds good. I forgot to mention previously, Mac rather. Excuse me. You pushed it up just a little bit, and that sounded a little better. At least to these old ears it did. Let's see. Next up is Don, K5HFG, W4AMI in the Southeastern AM Radio Club.
W4AMI, K5HFG. Well, Stan, you're sounding good. The band has smoothed out somewhat. Everybody's sounding better than they did at check-in time. So I think we got it covered. Thanks for letting me come in, and I've got not much to report other than it was a nice day again. And the temperature here in North Mississippi is starting to fall. We're in the mid-80s during the day now, and we even got into the 50s at night a couple nights. So I think we're on the way. I noticed the sun's down to the equator almost, and tomorrow's my birthday, in case you were thinking about sending me a card. Send me 3, everybody. Stan, doing a good job. Thank you, and Bob. W4AMI, K5HFG.
Yeah, okay, Don. Thank you. Good to have you tonight. Good signal. Wow. Ray, your transmission. How are things in Sandy Springs tonight? W4OB, this W4AMI.
W4AMI, this is W4OB. Doing great. Stan, and a very good evening to all the great signals, all the great stations on the net tonight, all those great amateurs. And Stan, it's been over the last 2 weeks. I had one of the best, I think the best eye doctor in Atlanta put new lenses in each eye, and now I have 20/20 vision, and boy, what a difference. When I was working on some of these electronics, especially when I had those old clouded, hard, couldn't focus, you name it, and now it's perfect clarity. So I'm really excited about the possibilities. So, a very good evening to everyone, but I wanted to say a special hello to Kevin, KK4GZQ on the BC 610 Mousetrap. Kevin, you're sounding great, and I wonder if the history of the Mousetrap had anything to do with Agatha, the great mystery writer Agatha Christie. She wrote a novel, Three Blind Mice, which is really outstanding, but I think that was the basis for the long-running play The Mousetrap in London. I think it's been playing for 60 or 70 years, something like that. So maybe you've got an Agatha Christie amateur radio. I'm not sure, Kevin, but it sounds great. Well, let me send it back to you, Stan, and thanks so much for being the net controller this evening. And I hope you and your dear wife are doing great in Walhalla. So W4AMI, this is W4OB. Good evening.
Contact.
Go ahead, Sam.
I've got some footnotes about the evolution of the name Mousetrap. I had that in my shack, and I was talking to N4VMY, Mr. Bill Decker, up in Kentucky, Litchfield, I think it was, and we were just having a nice QSO, and all of a sudden I heard this, and then the breaker pops on the front of the BC 610. And I said, uh-oh, and that's about all he heard. And, when he came back on, he said, uh-oh is not a good word to say on ham radio, especially on AM. So anyway, but a mouse had gotten in there and gotten right across the B+ line on that BC 610 and gave his all for amateur radio. But anyway, that's the story of the Mousetrap. That's how it got its name. So back to you, Stan. Thank you very much. I just thought I'd bring that up and just trivia. This is KF4TXQ. Back to W4AMI.
Okay, Sam, and thank you. Thank you for passing that along, Sam. Good to know that. It's well-traveled. Well-traveled. Thank you much. Okay, next up is Dr. John, KN4ME. Go ahead.
W4AMI, KN4 Mike Echo. Thanks, Stan. I am copying everyone here. I have not missed a word. Most everybody has got the receiver quietened down, and just a very pleasant experience to hear all these good AM signals tonight. I wanted to shout out a big happy birthday to Don K5HFG, and your full quieting here sounding great. I may be mistaken, and we'll let Kevin clarify this, but somehow I was thinking that that particular Mousetrap, and maybe there are more than one, came from Liz, W4 or K4GHT. She is certainly missed. She was a wonderful participant here for many years. She if I'm not mistaken, that was associated with that Mousetrap that went to Kevin, but he can fill you in on that. Not much else here. It's just good to hear everybody. Back to you, Stan, doing a great job. W4KR, I'm sorry, W4AME, KN4ME.
That is the same Mousetrap. Over.
Okay, Dr. John. Thank you, and thank you, Sam. Yep, it was a much traveled box, but sounds like looks and sounds like it's got a permanent home now. Now over in Nunsuch. Yeah. Good. Thank you, Dr. John. Thanks for joining us tonight. This is the Southeastern AM Radio Club Tuesday Swap and Fellowship Net that meets every Tuesday night right here at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, and we run for about an hour or more or less. Not very much more, about an hour. We usually wrap it up. We're about halfway down the list at this time. We'll take one more. I'll take two more transmissions, and then we'll have another brief timeout for stations wishing to join. Next up is Larry, K3FZD. How are you tonight, Larry? W4AMI.
This is K3FZD. I wonder how the hub business is at this time. I wonder if it was a power supply that I have here and I turned off, so I can still hear it over.
Larry, did you turn it back or did it shut itself off?
I don't know. I just it's another power supply that's sitting there that I turned off. So I don't know. It's off now. Are you still hearing the hum?
No, yeah, it has an awful lot of hum in it. In fact, the hum's louder than the hum is modulating it more heavily than you are, Larry. I'm sure you'll find it. You'll find it as you poke around there with it. Thanks for joining us tonight. Next up is Manuel, KW4 TV, way down Florida way, W4AMI in the net.
W4AMI, KW4 TV. Thank you, Stan. You're doing a great job. You always catch me napping. Up the early stuff. Appreciate him, and you guys do a great job. And let me shout out happy birthday to K5HFG Don. He didn't come. It's okay, too. We've had a beautiful day here today, and just been enjoying every minute of it. And hope we have a lot more of these days in a row. I could stand them. And got some yard work, grass cut, and a lot of honeydews done. So there you go, Stan. Again, thank you for what you do, and I'll turn it back to you. W4AMI, KW4 TV.
All right, Manuel. Hey, wow. Good. Signal's holding up, so band conditions are fairly stable. A little bit of QSB on the end close ones, but you all out a few hundred miles, they're holding up really well. Good to hear you tonight, Manuel, and thank you. This is the Southeastern AM Radio Club Swap and Fellowship Net, and we're going to take a standby right now, and right after the standby, we're going to hear about the Mousetrap Radio. Anybody care to join? Come on in right now.
This is Kilo 4 Hotel Uniform Mike, K4HUM. W4 High Bigger Business.
Okay. We heard WA4 or K4HUM, and then a friend down Florida way, W4IDD. Anybody else? The hotel station, come again, please. Bob, could you help with that?
I didn't get it good enough.
Whiskey Alpha 2, Whiskey Victor Hotel, I believe.
What was the first part?
I think it's Whiskey Alpha 2.
That's Roger. Whiskey Alpha 2, Mike Victor, Hotel.
Ah, Okay, now we got it. Thank you. WA2 Mike Victor Hotel. Good evening to you, sir. A little bit of static we're building up right then and can caught you. Anybody else? W4AMI. Okay, hearing no more. Okay, here we go. I said it was going to be Kevin's turn, and it is Kevin's turn. KK4GZQ. W4AMI. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Stan, before I get it, pick up Papa Bravo Sierra. He was doubling with you trying to check in. Over.
Okay, Papa Bravo Sierra. What's your prefix, please?
Roger. 64 Papa Bravo Sierra. Jason here in Virginia.
Okay, Jason. Good evening to you and welcome. Sorry I didn't get you sooner. Go ahead, Kevin, and thanks for the lift.
Okay, real good, Stan. Excuse me, W4AMI with the net. KK4GZQ. Good evening to all the newcomers that weren't on the pre-net. I heard Brandon check in. Good evening, Brandon. I'm looking at your setup right now with the back in the back. I've got my eyeball on that Optimod. Boy, that's a nice piece. Bunch of nice stuff there. Cool looking setup. And boy, you got a nice signal up here tonight. Hello to Bob, KA3IWS on the T150. Good signal from Lexington, South Carolina. I managed to get to copy Alpha Delta 4 Quebec. And also Ron, WB4GWA down in Georgia. Good evening to you, Ron. And a few others here, Stan, but I'm getting some messages. I've got a vehicle for sale. I'm giving up my old rusty, trusty Toyota truck, my 94 that I've had for years. It's just extra now, and it's eating more than it's worth it, I guess. It's just time to move it. So I'm getting some responses to it, and I believe I sold it here as I checked into the net here. I did some back and forth with a guy here, and we're going to meet tomorrow morning here. So I'm wheeling and dealing and checking into the net at the same time. I want to make sure to wish Don, K5HFG, a happy birthday. And Don, I heard you talking about the Agatha Christie era radio. I believe that's what you were talking about. But, originally, I got it from Liz, and I believe it had been down south, maybe to Wayne. Somebody had mentioned Wayne's name, and of course Charlie and Sam. And good evening to you, Sam, KF4TXQ. Good signal up here tonight. And I got it from Liz, and after she passed, it was offered to me, and I made sure to try to see what I can do to get it here in fond memory of K4GHT, Silent Key. We certainly miss Liz to pieces, all of us do, and I know I'll speak for all of us. So with that, I want to thank you, Bob, for the pre-net, and Stan, you for the net. Both of you do a great job. And to all you AMers out there, have a great evening. I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I appreciate all of you being there, but I am going to listen here for a while. W4KR, W4AMI, Stan, take it back, and thanks for letting me have a transmit here. 7-3, everybody.
Evening, Kevin.
Okay, Kevin. Thank you for joining us tonight, Kevin. Good luck selling the Toyota, and wish you well with it. And again, thanks, and come on back next week. We'll be here. Sam will be net control next week, so you can have it him for a bit. Next up is W4GZQ. Brandon, how you doing tonight?
Hello, Stan. Good evening to everyone on the net, all the shortwave listeners out there. I'm sure there's more listening than transmitting, but Virgil, of course, Ray, Dr. John, Roy, Kevin, good to hear you on the Mousetrap, and don't sell that Toyota too quick. I put a 97 online for sale and sold it in about 5 minutes and realized I sold it way too cheap. Those things, even if the frame's rusted in two, they're worth more than you think, so I'd hold off, raise the price a little bit. Dan, Ron, Manuel, Sam, conditions are great tonight, despite the solar storm or whatever's going on. Anywho, Brandon, W4GUZ. I'm in the little community of Hawk, North Carolina. And over the past 2 decades, I've figured out why they call it that. You don't leave little dogs or small animals or chickens outside, or they won't be there the next morning. Anyway, we're sandwiched between Mount Mitchell and Rome Mountain, Tennessee. Hadn't been behind the microphone much here lately. I think this is about the 3rd or 4th time in a month, but I did get to attend Shelby for one day. Had some great fellowship with a lot of the local AMers. Still got a back that's hurting, bulging disc and arthritis and bone spurs and all that good stuff that comes with old age, even though I'm almost 45 years old. Anyway, the wife helped me. She done all the work. She loaded the truck full of boat anchors, and I sold everything on Friday except one receiver, and believe it or not, I didn't sell but 1 quart of honey. Of course, I had some competition, but a good year for honey here in this part of North Carolina. I had right at 6 gallons off of 3 hives, and sold every bit of it, and only left myself with a half a gallon. So that should pay for the bee supplies for 2024. I went to Shelby, sold a lot. I bought nothing but an entry ticket and a hamburger and a lemonade. That's the first Hamfest in decades that I come home empty-handed. I felt like something was missing until I got home, and then I was happy about it. But, Bob, thank you for the pre-net, what little bit I heard of it. And Stan, both of you, thank you for what you do. And the whole entire club. On the 20 VK tonight, listening on a HRO 5, which is one of my most favorite receivers for AM. It stays right here on 3885 for the most part, but it sounding quite nice here. Good conditions considering. Definitely fall is in the air. The smell of leaves falling, and one of my, well, I guess it's my most favorite time of the year, but winter, Jack Frost is right around the corner, and I dread it. And it's been a while since we've had a bad or a good winter for those that like cold weather. But I think we're ready for it. Propane tank's full, and the wood shed's about 3/4 of the way full. W4AMI, W4GUZ.
Okay,
here in Hawk.
Brandon. Sounds like you're getting geared up.
7-3 dog.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Brandon. It's always good to hear you. Next up is Dave over in AD4Q, your transmission, W4AMI. AD4Q, are you with us?
Okay, I had a static crash there. I missed it. W4AMI in the net. This is Alpha Delta 4 Quebec. This is, you gave my call a little bit of noise. But here's most everybody tonight. Sounds pretty good. This is Dave, and I live in Millington, Tennessee, or just south of Millington, north of Memphis. And Johnson Viking 2 CDC and receiving on inverted B in the D104. So that's what we got. We had a good weekend last weekend. We got to New Orleans and got to drive over to Pensacola and had lunch with John VZS and Roy W4IDD and several others of the guys in Pensacola. And John even gave me a tour of my wife and I a tour of his museum of amateur radio. We had a great time. So it's good to get to see some of the guys face to face. And anyway, that was our weekend. And happy birthday to a neighbor just down the road here in Oxford, Don, K5HFG. Happy birthday to you. And thanks to everybody. And Stan, thanks for doing the net, and Bob for the pre-net. AMers and the group Alpha Delta 4, Quebec 73.
Okay, Dave, thank you. 84Q, thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate your coming aboard. Always do. Let's see here. Yeah, I forgot to say happy birthday to Don earlier, and shame on me. Notice, Don, I didn't ask how many. We'll just let that go. Next up is Bob in Lexington, South Carolina, down the road a piece here. KA3IWS. Your transmission, this is W4AMI in the Southeastern AM Radio Club.
Yes, W4AMI and the group. This is KA3IWS. We're in Lexington, South Carolina. I got my T150 and a full-wave loop antenna. Some really good signals on there this evening, and good to hear you as always, Kevin, and Dan up there, DDJ. Good to hear you, and boy, and you're loud in here too, Stan. It's really good copy here. Band's just kind of up and down, but I sure do enjoy it. So I'll back up to you, Stan. W4AMI from KA3IWS.
Yeah, okay. I think this is the beginning of fall season, and things are getting better week by week. Thanks for joining us, Bob. Next station up is Virgil, W4OLJ. How are you tonight, my friend? This is W4AMI.
W4AMI and the net. This is W4OLJ. Okay, Stan. Well, we're doing fine over here. Been a beautiful day here in the valley today. Nice and cool and bright and sunshiny. Couldn't ask for more. Boy, the signals are great. I'm just copying everybody just fine. And before I forget it, happy birthday to you out there, Don. And hope you have many, many more. Yeah, the signals are just outstanding. Brandon over there in Hawk, he's just throwing me out in beautiful audio, and Bob, he's right up there too. Just lots of them. And Mac, he's coming in great, and you too, Stan. You're just blowing me out over here. But anyway, there's just so many great signals on there, and all of them are good. I'm not have much trouble with anybody. It's just a great night. So that's about all we got. Not much going on here. I got out today and run a few errands and done a few little things, but kind of quiet over here in the valley. So 73s to everybody. It's good to hear all. W4AMI. This is W4OLJ in Sweetwater.
Okay, Virgil. I was watching the S meter, and you're cracking the 35 mark. So you can tell fall's coming. And thanks for being here. Always good to hear that signal coming out of Sweetwater. Next up is Bill, W4MA, and Bill, what in the world happened to your QRZ page? W4AMI, over.
At W4AMI from W4MA. Good evening, Stan. Thanks for doing the net. Thanks to the SAMRC officers. Good evening to all the members and the check-ins. Good to hear everyone. Some good signals. Stan, you got a wonderful signal in here tonight. Quickly, my QRZ page was compromised somehow. I'm not one to keep passwords on the computer, but somehow some culprit got me somehow. But anyway, that is straightened out now, hopefully. Hope that did not cause anyone any problem, although one fellow on the air I know did cause some confusion, and we got that straightened out. Nothing to buy, sell, or swap here. Got everything pretty much like I wish. Let's see. By the way, my name here is Bill. I'm in North Georgia. I'm between LJ and Dahlonega, kind of like the guy up in North Carolina, out in the middle of no place. And yeah, you just don't go out at night without looking around. I'll let your pets out at night, that's for sure. Weather is great. Has been great today, taking advantage of it, doing some yard work, no grass to cut. Mulch is spread from trees being cut and chipped up and so forth. Have a garden that is kind of coming to an end for the season, but the green peppers and the hot peppers are abundant right now, so we're still enjoying those. Anyway, life is good. Thank you, Stan, again, 7-3 to all. W4AMI, this is Whiskey 4 Mike Alpha. Good evening.
Good evening, Bill. This is Sam.
Good evening, Sam.
Hey, Bill, thank you. Yeah, I was talking with Sherman on the phone, and he mentioned it, and I brought it up, and my goodness. Well, glad you got it squared away. There was a strange thing going on the early part of last week. Some QTH stuff had gotten compromised as well. So somebody was having a good time. Anyway, this is the Southeastern AM Radio Club Swap and Fellowship Net, W4AMI, your net control for tonight. The next station up is W9TAB. Go ahead, sir.
Hearing everybody's system is really nice. Everybody sounded good down here. Rubbing is good. Good. And did some work out there in the yard. Work out some vines out the shed. Work in the shop. And did a few things around town too. On the Collins 32V2 transmitter with the everybody sounded good. Don, and happy birthday, buddy, and many more to you. For MIW9TV. Good evening, everybody.
Woof, woof.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Good signal from way down Florida way. Next up's W4 WFL. Your transmission, sir. Go ahead.
This is W4 WFL in Pensacola also. And I have I repaired a Hammerland DQ100 and its radio, but I ended up fixing it and it works perfectly, except that there's no cabinet for it. And I was wondering if somebody might have an old parts radio or that would fit that DQ 100. I'd sure like to get that cabinet. If I don't find one, I might have to go to my favorite sheet metal shop and see if they'll make me one. But I'd sure like to get one that comes with it. So anyway, if anybody knows of anything, let me know. I don't need to buy the whole radio. If you want to keep the radio and there's a cabinet, I'd be glad to just get the cabinet, or I'd be glad to buy the whole thing. So, somebody could let me know something. I sure would appreciate it. I'm good on NQRZ, and that's about all I have for the net for tonight. So I'll say 73s to everybody, and this is Whiskey 4, Whiskey Foxtrot Lima in Pensacola.
Yeah, did you say that was for an HQ 100?
Yeah, it's for the left. I think it's an HQ. I think it's the most popular one that Hammerlin made.
Yeah, okay. Yep. W4WFL is looking for a cabinet for an HQ100. Will buy the whole receiver if he has to. Anyway, good luck finding it. That'll be a find. Though that was a long time ago. Next up is WA4III. Greg, how are you tonight? Go ahead.
W4 AMI, I think that's right. This is WO4III. Might be busy today, and I spent the whole evening in the doctor's office and got a good report. I'm gonna have to do some maintenance on my A1C. It's a little bit high, but we talked, I'm going to live till next year. I made an appointment for a year from today, so I guess that's a good report. And as I said, it's been a good day today, and thank you for picking me up and doing a good job there. W4 AMI, this is WA4II. I think I've got that right.
Okay. Thank you, Greg. And congratulations on the good doctor's report. Glad to hear it. Yeah, A1C can bounce up and down a little bit. Don't worry about it too much. Just don't let it get too high. Okay, next up is Lenny, WK4HUM, and then we're going to quick a standby. Lenny, how are you tonight? Over.
Hey, good evening, Stan and the group. This is K4HUM with the W4AMI. Hang out there. Everybody's really sounding good. I'm really looking forward to this little cooler weather and definitely some great signals and encouraging weather. So a little bit wet around here, but that's all good. Kind of need it. We'll see what that's a little bit hot. Anyway. Thanks for doing the net there, Stan, and we'll try and be in here Thursday, Lord willing, and best up the ground, we'll have to see. 73 tonight, K4HUM, back to W4 AMI.
Okay, Lenny. Thank you, sir. Welcome. Going to take a standby, and after the standby, we're going to hear from Roy, W4IDD. This is the Southeastern AM Radio Club Swap and Fellowship Net for Tuesday night. Any latecomers, call now.
K4HIL.
Okay, picked up K4HIL. Anyone else? Okay, didn't hear anybody. HIL, good evening to you, sir. Next up is, as I said a minute ago, is our friend Roy down in Pensacola. W4I diddle. Go ahead, Roy.
All right. Thank you, Stan. Good evening to you and everybody on the net this evening. Man, you got a crown, the big net going, and it's great. Real great. Well, it's good to be here. As Miss Cindy Carroll used to say on the Grand Ole Opry, she'd come out there on stage and say, howdy, I'm just so proud to be here. And I really am, Stan. It's good to be live this evening and enjoying ham radio at its finest. Well, let's see. I'm on Miss Daisy May this evening, a B&W 5100, a B-Model, and the B stands for beautiful. So there you go, with an NC300 receiver and a pair of 13s and a B&W amplifier, talking on the D102 microphone. So there's the set up here. I don't got anything for the net. Stan just wanted to get in and be a part of the program. Everybody have a great week. Be
yourself. Be careful. At 73 all around. And clear stand where this little spike comes. I hope everybody out there in radio land feels as good as I look this evening. Stan, back to you. Great job from W4. I diddle Pensacola.
All right, Roy, and thank you. Appreciate your sticking around and coming in tonight, Roy. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, sir. Next up is Dave, WA2 Mike Victor Hotel, down Florida way. How are you tonight, W4 AMI? Go ahead. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good evening and take care. Come on back next week. Next up is Jason, W4 PBS, your transmission. Go ahead.
For Papa Bravo Sierra, Jason here in Central Virginia. I think it's my first time checking in on the net. I usually don't check in on net so much, but heard you guys on here, and everybody's doing real good, and figured we can give it a shot. We've been at home the last few days with back problems, and I'm not liking it too much. But anyhow, other than that, we're running a ICOM 7300 into a AL80A and into a full-size 80-meter dipole up with a 60 or 75 feet somewhere in there. But we just wanted to check in and say hello to everybody. Everybody's sounding great this evening. Everybody's 10 to 25 over S9, and just wanted to jump in here and say hello. So we'll turn it back to I believe it's Stan, and this is W4 back to net 7-3s, everybody.
Okay, Jason, welcome to the net. I sense you're in the Lynchburg area. Nice, beautiful part of the state of Virginia. We almost lived north of you about 60 miles, but didn't happen. It's about 15 years ago we were looking up there. Anyway, come on back next Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Last station on the list is coming up in a second, and after that we'll take a final standby before we shut down to the net for the night. K4HIL, your transmission. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Well, I've never been on this one, I don't think. I figured I'd see if y'all could hear me. I'm in Middle Tennessee, Old Hickory, Tennessee to be exact, home of Andrew Jackson. I'm talking on a Flex 5000 into a W2IHY PR40 microphone running a 87A alpha amplifier. So just over here cruising. Heard y'all in here, just wanted to check in. Don't have nothing for the net.
Yeah, okay, Todd. Well, glad you did. As I said a minute ago, we're here every Tuesday night. And I'll be wrapping it up here in a couple of minutes. We'll take another standby here pretty quick, but you're always welcome. So far, we've had 27 check-ins tonight. It's a good crowd. Anybody else before we shut down? This is W4AMI.
Whiskey 4, Yankee Tango Oscar.
W4 Whiskey Tango Oscar, is that right?
Whiskey 4, Yankee Tango Oscar. That's Yankee Tango Oscar.
W4 YTO. Now I got it. Now that sounds more familiar. Come on, man, transmission. How you doing tonight?
No, I'm doing pretty good. I just got in from work, so I'm running a little late for the net, but I thought I'd try to get in here at least for the numbers. I hope I'm making the trip okay. I don't have anything real special. I've got an IC 756 Pro 2 I'm on tonight into an M3Z. I'm going to say about 50 watts there. So you can tell me if I'm making it. Invite me in there. Whiskey 4 Yankees, Tango Oscar, back to you.
Okay, W4YTO, my goodness, for that power, you're doing great. Good signal here in the northwest corner of South Carolina. I'm located about 50 miles west of Greenville, South Carolina, and right close to the North Carolina and Georgia borders. Just a river, just a few miles east of me, or west of me rather, and that's the dividing line between those three states. Okay, this is W4AMI. Final standby. Anybody else?
Kilo November 4, Hotel.
KN4HH. Now that call sounds familiar. That call sounds real familiar. How you doing tonight, Bob? Go ahead.
Real good, Stan. Sorry I'm late, but I wanted to at least get in and say hi to you. Good to talk to you the other day, and good to see you a while back. So just wanted to give you another number. Back in Woodstock, Georgia, and you've got a beautiful signal tonight. We're giving you about 200 watts and a very short, long wire antenna, Stan. W4AM. I'll get it right in a minute. WX4AM and 4HH.
Yeah, Bob, you have your own antenna up now, is that right?
Well, kind of, sort of. I graduated from the gutter to about a 50-foot piece of wire up in the tree.
Well, okay. You're gaining on it. It sounds good. It sounds good over here. Good signal from Woodstock. You're almost what Alan normally is. But welcome. Glad to hear you. Let me take you. Okay, I took a standby. We added one. Is there one more out there? W4AMI. Nope, don't hear anybody. So we'll wrap it at that point. Bob, good to hear you. As I said, good to hear. Look forward to seeing you again. Probably see you down at Stone Mountain coming up. Geez. We're 1st of October. That thing. Geez, that's about 6 weeks away. Wow, Bob. Eesh. Yeah, got to start thinking about that, guys. We ought to have a pretty good turnout at Lawrenceville for the Stone Mountain Hamfest. Good location, great facility. Anyway, this is W4AMI, Southeastern AM Radio Club, Swap and Fellowship Net for this past Tuesday night, or this Tuesday night. Next week, Sam will be here as your net control. I believe, I think that Kevin will be back. WA4AM who will do the pre-net. And remember that come Thursday night, the Mullets will be right here. I think they start right about 7 o'clock Eastern Time as we do. Take care, everybody. Good night, and thank you so much. Special shout-out, special thanks to our folks up north who have been kind enough to stand by while we run our net down here. We do appreciate it, guys. Take care. See everybody soon. This is W4KR. Good night.